there was a lot of talk that Counsell would go to the Mets. They fired Showalter, interviewed Counsell, and all of that. And then on the flip side, the Cubs interviewed him, but did it on the DL, not letting anybody know, and waited till they had him signed before they fired their current manager. So it's like two different ways of looking at things. There's been a lot of talk about how that might not have been the best way to treat your employees. If you're the Cubs, like, oh, we want to go in a different direction, but we're not sure. If we don't get the guy we want, we're going to keep this guy. So we're going to make sure and interview him before we make the announcement that we're firing you. So it's like.
And then the Mets, they go across town and bring a bench coach in
when they didn't get their guy that they wanted. And so then people are thinking, well, which one is quote unquote right? Because did the Mets feel like they needed to get a certain guy and that was better than Showalter and didn't get him, and they're like, well, we already fired Showalter.
Well, there's a real good chance that the Mets will win the World Series next year because Showalter has
No, that's only happened 3 times, not before.
Sounds like a lot. But the other big news this week in managerial, we cannot miss it. The Astros still don't have a manager, and I'm glad they didn't hire this guy. But Ron Washington's coming back to the AL West and is the new Angels manager. He's going to have one of the best players in baseball, but one most likely doesn't love Washington enough to stay put in Shohei Ohtani. But Ron Washington back as a manager in the major leagues.
You're right. Up until the Astros came into the American League West, the Angels were my most hated team, and I still hate them very, very, very strongly. But they're a dumpster fire.
That would be my question. We've seen coaches matter. We saw a difference in this year where Bochy obviously had a lot of good groceries, but also made everybody click and took them to the top. We've seen some success, even a little bit. D'Amico Ryans having some success in Houston, won more games they've won. How confident or fearful may not be the right word. Should we be? Can Ron turn that around, or are the Angels still going to be out there and just going to find a way to be okay?
I think the hire, as far as like from the personnel standpoint, is probably a good one because Ron Washington did a good job in Texas working with a younger roster and building them into a team that went to 2 World Series. And so he was successful in that here. The Angels are not in as good a situation, I guess, as the Rangers were when Washington came to the Rangers because they don't have any really strong younger talent. I mean, they have some players, but not
your best players going to be gone.
Well, and Ohtani will be leaving. They still don't have a pitching staff. That they didn't have a pitching staff even with Ohtani. So I guess Ron Washington, I'm glad he was 71 years old. I'm glad he got the opportunity to manage again because it's something that he has been a beloved baseball guy. He obviously stumped his toe there at the end of Texas, and it was understandable why no one hired him immediately. But Ron doesn't have very many more chances, obviously, because he's getting on up there in age. So I don't know how picky he could be. I'm not worried as a Rangers fan that suddenly the Angels are going to turn it around. Now, if he would have gone to Houston, per se, that would have bothered me because I do think that Houston has a good team and could make some things happen. And I would have really not liked having to be rooting so hard against Ron Washington. But I think in his current situation, he can just kind of do his thing, and we don't really have to worry about it all that much.
Well, that's our long talk. Our report. We appreciate Lawrence of Abilene driving us in and out of Texas high school football playoffs, the games that happened last night, and the games to come. We'll be back right after this.
All right. Yeah, that might be what's wrong with the computer. My phone will not pick up the Wi-Fi.
I went to go to the mall guest. Okay. We're up rolling.
Did you like that? Housekeeping? Me fluff your pillow?
I don't know where our third headset is. I don't know where I could put it.
Brr.
I hear sit where you sit.
The windows. The doors were open. I didn't have to go through the tunnel, obviously, because you let me in. Your pen. Start. Okay.
I haven't done my Pixie week.
Yum, yum. Yum. And take a picture of that, so I know. Bing. There you got it. Oh, look how cute. Too bad we don't have a little bevy in here. A little morning bev with pineapple juice. Yum.
Well, welcome back to the Hodge Pack, Sports Life and everything in between. It is time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment, brought to you by Big Country Electric Cooperative. This is where we normally highlight a local player, coach, or program, and today we're highlighting programs across the Big Country that have made the playoffs, continue to keep rolling. As some games last night took place, and unfortunately some folks' seasons in the Big Country came to a close. But again, big night, high school football rolling, where it's the survive and advance, move forward, one game left, and that's where we are at as beginning the first round of the district season has kicked off, and round started last night with some Big Country teams playing. And it's always fun. We are fortunately El Paso. The way it works in 4 and 5A and 6A, the first round guys, if you win the district and get second, you get to host it. Third and fourth have to travel and have a road game for the by-district round and have to go to a host site of that first and second place team. And last night, El Paso got to come to Abilene, and it was rough. But we got before we dive in, we got Misty early bird today, a little early, making it to the second segment.
Getting the worm.
That is true.
That's the
Out of
same.
the tequila bottle?
Maybe.
It's a little early for
I
that.
was hoping there was something in this Hodge Pack cup, but there's nothing. So,
Well, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. But again, big day. Again, football playoffs, games tonight. But last night, we'll go through some of these scores. And again, El Paso had to drive out today, or they actually came in Thursday and played at last night Abilene High. Again, shout out to Big Country Bullets. Check out their Facebook page, website. Follow him on social, Cody Coyle and his staff, which I think maybe,
It's Cody Coyle.
It
It's
is.
Cody Coyle.
it is Cody Coyle and Cody Coyle. He is HR, so he goes in and has, can pretty much do what he wants. He is HR. But last
Not
night,
your own employer.
He's also employee of the month,
yeah.
every month.
Well, we feel like you've done a really good job.
That would be a bit that I think I would like to do.
Yes.
Just have all my own employees.
Yeah,
a month
Every
post
month,
stuff.
just like posing different, like the awkward family
Sorry,
photos.
derailed.
Yeah, squirrel.
No, but the best part would be on February, why is the photo not as smiling? I only had 28 days to be great.
Oh my God, we need a Hodge Pack calendar. I have all these ideas now. This is happening. Our listeners deserve more from us.
Oh, there's no doubt. And now that we're at the mall, which again, real quick shout out to Mall of Abilene Blood Drive. Donate blood to save life. This fall,
Talk
this
about
Friday.
your segue.
It's a great segue. It's save life right here at the mall. Hendrick Regional
Oh,
Blood Center
man.
bus. We'll be at the Mall of Abilene this Friday, today, November 10th, from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Near the Ulta J.C. Penney entrance. Come on out, donate blood to save a life with 106.9 Big Country Giant. And so be on the lookout because we are at the mall. We start having calendars ready and we got ideas. But the best idea is that there's still high school football going on for some teams. And last night, El Paso unfortunately had a rough outing. El Paso Tanks took on the Abilene High Eagles, district champion. We had Coach Fuller here last week. It's the fourth most points scored ever in a game by the Eagles and the most in the modern era from 1950 to present. Abilene High won 84-14, and 70 of that was at halftime.
That just makes me sad for El Paso team. Like, that is just, and we've talked about the whole mercy rule. Should there be one in high school sports, football specifically? I don't know, man. 84-14,
Well,
like,
if
stop
they
the
were to-
bleeding.
I say yes. That way you just don't feel bad about getting up and leaving.
I'm just like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't
And
know.
that's the thing, if there would have been 5 less team players on the field for each side, it would have been over at halftime.
Right.
But because 11 made you
Right.
complain. So last night, Abilene High again, 84-14. The other El Paso Andress came to play Wiley. Wiley, last week, Cooper and Wiley played for second place. Third place had to go out to El Paso, which Cooper will be doing today. Abilene Wiley wins 55-7, and there was like 8 straight drives where it's just play, touchdown, play, touchdown. In fact, the second drives were 9 and 7 seconds. Pass, run. It was the
Wow.
craziest thing. I felt so bad, kind of, for El Paso Andress. So the first touchdown, Wiley kicks it off, and it hangs in the wind, and it bounces and drops and sits there. The kick returner for El Paso Andress, I think, thought it was a punt because he just stood there and let the time run. Wiley runs and falls on the football right in front of him to get the ball in a one-play touchdown.
Oh gosh, that's
was
just embarrassing.
It was pretty bad. So last night, Wiley wins 55-7, and then Holly won 63-18 over Anthony. So the big country, just this big country group, the 2 Abilene Wiley and Abilene High, and Holly, who's trying to defend their state championship. The big country outscored El Paso last night, 258-39.
Gosh, again, mercy.
Well,
I don't
here's the
know.
deal. I got
Well,
to.
and this first
That's
round,
just
this
crazy
first round
to
playoff
me.
stuff, obviously, you talk about parity. There is some disparity in the teams just because of the format and how many teams make it. Some districts do have 4 teams that are, at least not an embarrassment, but most districts don't.
Right.
Well, like last night. Again, I want to get into that. That'll be part of my time segment. We want to have time so we can get respectful for Matt Dix, who will join us at the bottom of the hour to talk World Series baseball and World Series champions. But so I got a text last night from Tara during the Wiley game saying because the disparity that was just taking place, the Bulldogs were taking care of the Eagles, that there's too many teams that make the playoffs. I think in some scenarios you look at it and it's exactly right. But that 2 and 3 seed should be competitive. But unfortunately, and you know this as long as you've been around, when El Paso comes this way, they struggle.
Yeah.
Last night, the Anson Tigers here, home of the 106.9, home of Anson Tiger football, Came up short last night, 29-27. Great game, and just unfortunately came up short. So I don't think there's too many teams that make it. It's just unfortunately when the ones that aren't good enough to be in there get in, they get exposed. But then you got a team like Tornillo who can't fill a team by the time the year is over. And one of the reasons I learned last night, the reason El Paso likes to play on Thursdays, you want to guess what happens today at 3 o'clock?
I have no clue.
I'll buy your lunch if you can guess it.
Well, then I guess I'm paying for my own lunch.
Okay, you're buying mine today.
I didn't agree to that.
Oh, it's already
Back
on the air.
into it,
It's already
man.
on the air. Thanks, appreciate it. I'll take 10 wings and fries. But my point is, here's what happens today. It's the end of the 6 weeks.
Oh, because everyone's going to fail.
Yeah.
Kids are not
Okay.
eligible.
Yeah.
And so that's why El Paso wants to play on Thursdays because of the chance of having kids ineligible
That's
today.
crazy.
Heard last night, hope it's accurate. Cooper flipped. El Paso wanted to play tonight, last night. Cooper wins a flip, so Cooper's out in El Paso, hopefully to continue that run for the Big Country folks. So that number of 239 or 258 could be a lot more by the time Cooper's done tonight. And so, anyway, just a lot of things going on again, high school football. Continuing our listening area, Roscoe Plowboys take care of the McCamey Badgers, 60-26. Plowboys avenge a big district loss last year from the Badgers. Another state champion that's still rolling, Denny Faith and the Albany Lions have won 22 in a row. They take down your wife's alma mater of El Dorado, 60-0. That's 22 wins in a row. I'm sure El Dorado will be ready for basketball.
60-0. Oof.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, looking at the scoreboard
But that's
here,
what I'm
there's a lot
saying,
of
like,
absolute blowouts.
Should there not be a mercy rule for 11-man?
Well, and I'm just looking at these games that so far I'm going through. El Paso Riverside raising the flag for El Paso. They beat Big Spring last night, 40-20. Just going through Jacksboro Callisburg, pretty decent game, 51-50. Toller, shout out to the Mullins boys, Jeremy Mullins, Keith Mullins. Toller wins last night, 57-12. They're rolling. Coleman, 47-7 over Alfred. And then again, some of our other listening areas. Unfortunately, the high school Indian season comes to an end as they lose to Munster last night, 44-7. And then finally, the state champion, trying to win 3 in a row. Westbrook wins over Rankin, 72-22. So that is our Big Country Electric My Town segment. Again, congratulations to those teams that are moving on, and those that will be playing tonight. I know Clyde, Jim Ned, some other folks will be playing tonight as they continue to keep football alive for their schools, and unfortunately some are about to start playing basketball. Well, that is our Big Country Electric My Town segment. I appreciate Big Country Electric taking care of members each and every day. When we come back, we'll talk if Matt Hicks plans on getting fitted for a ring, but what it was like on this run, what it was like at Chase Field when it happened, the parade and everything. As the World Series Texas Raiders. Man, that sounds good. We'll be back right after this. All right, I'm going to make sure that.
How was the rest of your day yesterday?
It was good. Yes, it was good. I went to Pork and Pig and went to the ACU basketball game.
What'd you have at Pork and Pig?
A chicken parm. It was really, really good.
So good.
It was very good. I split it with the birthday girl.
Who did ACU women play?
Rice.
They beat Rice?
We didn't stay for the end of the game. We left. So I'm not sure. They were not when we left, but at halftime it was 27-30.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time they were down by like 12. They were coming back, so it was good. Have y'all gone to ACU basketball game? In the new state or the new
I've been
Coliseum?
in there, but I've not
Yeah.
gone to a game.
I bet Molly would like it. Like, it's just, Collins had a blast.
Yeah.
Just fun.
Hello, Matt. All right. Hey, Matt. Appreciate you taking time this morning. I know it's a really good thing is it's sunshine, but I hope you didn't wake up with any routine of a Friday. All right, good deal. You got me and Josh and Misty as well that may have some questions, and so just talk about the run, and what it was like at Shakespeare. Now we've had three really cool Rangers. We'll be the third. We've had Jared and Emily. Now you. We're set. Or the Hodge Pack is set. That I do not know. We have changed studios, and so it's
I can't hear you through the headset, so there's something.
We're curious. Go ahead. You are? Okay. That I'm not 100% sure, honestly. Can you still hear the pitch? Okay, I'll try that. You can't hear the ringing in your ear?
Yeah, I can hear him fine. I cannot hear you at all. Matt, this is Josh. Can you hear me? Okay. I don't know what is going on because
It's like he can only hear you from the phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna try this one.
I don't think the microphone is going through the.
Yeah, the phone.
He's just hearing the
I'm gonna call you
speakerphone.
from another phone. So get this one better.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
That's exactly what happened. He hears that whine that's in the because the phone microphone is.
And he just speakerphone.
Yeah. That thing in here makes so much noise and the phone's not working right.
All right. Can you hear us better with this? Yes. Okay, perfect. Much better. Perfect. That noise is still there, but it's staying in the background compared to your voice. Right. All right. We're going to go right now. We are live and ready to roll. You ready? Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between. We're glad that you're with us. A couple technical difficulties again with the move. You move into a new house, you don't know where things are. You're turning on the air conditioner, you need to turn on the heater. But we are excited. Our Pest Patrol phone line joining us on World Series champion radio play-by-play for the Texas Rangers. Joining us, Matt Hicks on our Pest Patrol phone line. Matt, we appreciate you taking the time and kind of navigating us through as the veteran radio guy that you are. We appreciate you joining us this morning. Well, so you've been with the Rangers a number of years, and now you've got to experience the run that. Well, let's go back. What has this season been like with the roller coaster? It's right next to Six Flags, the up and down of what the season was. We get excited when it starts. We're on a big run. The lull, all of it. Just kind of let's talk about the regular season run with me, you, and Josh here. We're glad to have you this morning.
Yes, I wish we did. And one thing I wanted to ask you about is you talk about stepping up for people that are missing some time, and you and Jared stepped up big time when Eric was unavailable for a while, and he's obviously a legend that y'all had to try to fill in for. What was that like, and how did you adjust to that? Well, I obviously y'all did a great job, stepping up and filling in. I've been a radio listener, using the app for a long, long time, and so I felt like, no offense to y'all at all, but hearing that World Series victory call coming from Eric was kind of just needed that. So I'm glad that he was there, and I've listened to it multiple times since. What was what was the feeling like being there in person and hearing that?
Well, and then, my question is, I know, appreciate you taking the time this morning. We've talked about coaches and how much they matter. You've been there since 2012. And so you've seen managerial change, you've seen those cultural change in the clubhouse. What would you say was the biggest difference of that, what Bruce Bochy brought to the Rangers to maybe put them over the top and put that ring on?
I don't know as though you can just maybe say one thing because there's so much that he brought to the table. And when you think about, and I've now had the opportunity to work with a number of managers with the Rangers, and everybody's different in how they operate and how they relate to people and how they lead. And so for Bruce Bochy, there are any of the number of things that I could mention, but I think the thing that just hit right away was not just the experience that he brought into that clubhouse, but I could probably say, should have said claw, the elements that he brings, I think that resonates with most of the players is the fact that he had been a World Series champion before. And there is a certain air about that you just can't deny, right? He won 3 World Series titles with the Giants in 2010, 12, and 14. So he's been there. He's a winner. He knows how to win. And back then in San Francisco, he won. With a core group of players, but I think each one of those San Francisco teams is a little bit different in terms of how they performed during the regular season, what kind of clubs they were by the time they got to the postseason. So there is no player in the clubhouse that can go, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy definitely knows what he's talking about. So everybody just kind of bought into Bruce Bochy being a dynamic type leader who's going to take them to a place perhaps that none of them had ever been before. And then I think, another thing that is prominent with Bruce, and that is that he has a certain respect for each and every player, the professionalism that they bring to the table. And he is not a micro-manager. He is a man who essentially lays out, this is the plan, each one of you has a part in it, I expect you to fulfill your end of the bargain. And he basically leaves it at that. He respects them as professionals and expects them to perform without having to remind them constantly, here's what you need to be doing, here's what we expect of you. It's something that's laid out, and he expects them to be a certain level of professional on a daily basis. And so, you see that sort of productivity. Guys know that the manager has their back and they want to play for him. And you get to see this on a daily basis. And one of the things that we saw throughout the course of the year and during his media sessions, he would get asked the question often in different ways. Hey, if you need to talk to this player, if you need to pull this guy aside, point this particular thing out. And almost every time his response was no. I don't need to tell him this. He knows what he needs to do. He knows what he needs to work on. He's a professional and he'll take care of it. So I think that one of the things that we saw throughout the course of the year was, Bochy just letting these men be the professionals that they are, let them do their jobs, and get the result that you want.
Well, and finally, again, Matt, appreciate it. Just want to ask, how are you going to decompress? How are you going to enjoy, between you, Emily, and everybody, the team, the Road Warrior was very much so the case from the loss in Seattle to the plane to Tampa Bay and just the Road Warriors that y'all were. How are you going to decompress and maybe enjoy a little bit of an off-season?
Well, I haven't had much decompression time since we won the World Series, I can tell you that. I've got another couple of phone calls so I think that's a good thing because, people, want to know about what, went on during the season. They want to talk about the World Series champions, and so I'm perfectly fine with that. For me right now, when you talk about road warriors, it's one of the things that people don't think of very much during the course of the season. How much time all of us are away from our families and how much traveling we actually do. So right now, I'm enjoying just being home with my wife. Last night, I cooked dinner. That brings me a sense of relaxation. I enjoy cooking, and so these are some of the things that I want to do, and I don't want to get back on the road again right away, but we are going to take some time to do just a little bit of traveling later on. Our son is in college out in Los Angeles, and so we're going to take some time to go visit with him. But for us, it's a real quick turnaround because we played an extra month of baseball, and spring training is right around the corner, so we don't have a whole lot of time. But you would never trade any of this away. This is what you do all of this for to win a World Series, and so we're happy to be able to put in the extra work.
Well, again, Matt, I appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations on being a part of the World Series and part of the team and helping bring us the action, not just during the World Series, but the whole time. But we appreciate you, you and Jared and Eric and the whole team. So appreciate. Looking forward to seeing what a defending champion looks like just in a few months.
We're looking forward to that as well. Thanks so much, guys.
Again, that's Matt Hicks, voice of the Texas Rangers. Appreciate him taking time. When we come back, we'll open up Misty's back and get ready to roll into the 8 o'clock hour.
Oh.
Man, I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, have a good one.
I did like a boxing workout and I'm so sore. Like my
So
back.
definitely
Oh my God.
the issue is that.
Well,
I thought
the
that was
phone
already
is
supposed to
going,
be
the phone
moved.
is going through the speaker of the phone, not the microphone.
Mhm.
That's why we sound like we're a long ways away.
So you think it's still all here?
Yeah.
Well, that is a huge problem.
Right.
Because you can hear that on the radio or on Facebook just anyway.
Yeah.
But that was so loud because he was closer to that than us, and he.
Awkward family photos.
Listeners, would y'all buy 12 months of us?
Yes. Y'all, we could,
For charity.
for charity.
We can get it taken.
I mean,
Most January.
I'm just saying,
We
like,
have to put some really goofy holidays.
but we totally could. Like, just like all denim, like ridiculous, like poses.
Oh,
How hilarious would that be?
Amish month. Just all
Or we don't even have to get them printed. We'll just post them. Happy January. Here's your January model, and it's us every month.
And you have my sexy photo on January 16th. So that's my birthday. They put that.
Yep.
You might just throw the calendar over around.
I'm just thinking that could be so funny. I mean, I don't know of another radio talk show that's done that.
Probably right.
Calendar. So see, we can be the first and the
We
weirdest.
don't have much time to get this done.
We don't. We're still waiting to take those Texas Ranger and cowboy pictures. We would just have to like show up, like go to your house one weekend and just like bring props and weird stuff, and then we'll just like change clothes and right then, like all 12, bam. I mean, I'm serious.
I really think we should. If we're
I
gonna
think
do
it
this,
would
I think
be.
We have to put different on the dates.
And Leanne can take them.
Yeah.
Just with our phone, I
Put
mean.
different, well, she's got,
Oh,
a real
perfect.
camera.
Even better.
but put different funny things on different dates.
Yes.
Have the holidays on there like normal, but then just some random.
Yeah.
stuff.
Make up our own national day.
Yes.
X.
National Hodge Pack Day. Take Monday off, babes. Super Bowl
Oh.
Monday after Super Bowl is now a national holiday.
National add cheese sticks to the Hodge Pack Day.
Yeah, national. How many hot dogs can you eat in a day? Like just random. It would be so funny, y'all. We should totally do that. Just bring props and. That would be great.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, Sports Life and everything in between. Here, Toby Key, the red, white, and blue. And a big shout out as we celebrate Veterans Day tomorrow, Veterans Day weekend. You'll see NFL teams dressed in their military hoodies this weekend. So shout out to all of our military veterans. I appreciate the fight that you put up so that we can get to do things like this. Our radio show, our lives that we get to have freely here in America. So we appreciate them very much for all the service that you guys and gals provide. And it's a pretty big deal. We still have a pretty amazing military. Of course, shout out to Dallas Air Force Base right here in Abilene. So we are up and rolling, getting close to our 8 o'clock hour, and we are going to do right quick our station identification. All right, Misty, we are going to open up your bag. Are you ready for it? Are you sure you're ready for it?
I'm ready for it. We're going to keep rolling with the MLB. So now that baseball is over and we've got to wait for a new season, let's talk about some of the rule changes that came into play. Pitch clock, defensive shift, bigger bases. Would you change any of those or keep them all? And what is the one thing you would change as a rule in MLB for next season?
I like the changes. I think that they had the desired effect, and they didn't really have, at least, an overt, noticeable, unintended consequence that suddenly became apparent. The one that the jury is still out. There are some people that are of the mindset that the pitch clock might be adding to pitcher injuries. I don't know that I would follow that line of thinking, because the pitch clock was really just putting the pace of the game kind of back to where it traditionally had been until recently. So for a long time, that wasn't an issue.
I don't know. What, because they think they're rushing their pitches?
Right, and they can't take some time ever so often.
The stress.
Now, and I would say,
and again, I'm not trying to say that. It's like golfers. Hit the ball. Hit the ball. I mean, how long do you think you need to get ready to throw a pitch?
well, I mean, that's the point. I mean, I guess the thing is like, there are some that, and the only time that I could see this being an actual maybe is in the situations where a guy is truly laboring, and this rule changed before the pitch clock, but the 3-batter minimum added to the pitch clock. If someone's just really struggling, like to be able to, kind of step back, take a breath for a second,
Yes.
like, and you have limited mound visits and things like that. So in those situations, people might be throwing more labored pitches, more often, I guess. But like I said, I don't follow that line of thinking, because, if you go back just not that long ago, there was no need for a pitch clock because everyone just kind of followed the same pace, and so it was a process that had just been more and more exasperated, the slowness between pitches and stepping out of the box every single time and going through your routine of how many times you got to open your Velcro on your batting glove and close it again, every single time, just kind of got out of hand. So I'm fine with it. As far as any other changes that I would make, I just wish that MLB could come up with a replay system that seemed to be somewhat consistent and not the stupidest.
Replay seems to be the thing that of all the sports, they get it wrong.
Right,
Yeah.
and I've seen it go, in the Rangers' favor against the Rangers, so it's not necessarily always just a one-sided thing, but you seem to see more baseball plays that go to replay that you watch it and the call still defies what you just saw, and I don't understand that. I don't understand what's going on. Maybe there's explanations that you always hear, like, well, they have more views in New York. Well, maybe they should share those views.
Yeah, maybe we need to see them in Texas.
Because it gives you more credibility for us, the fan. If you show, well, guys, we have a camera in the pole by the dugout that nobody else knows about that zooms in that we can see. I would rather know why you stayed with the call or why you changed the call. Because inconclusive evidence in a football game where it's called a catch from the beginning, and there doesn't seem to be any inconclusive evidence to say that it wasn't on the replay, I understand why it stays a catch. Because I've seen sometimes where you're like, well, it's a good thing it was called a catch, because if it was called a fumble, you could not reverse it, or an incomplete pass, you could not reverse it. And I agree, probably instant replay is one they just don't get it right.
So would you rather, since they don't get it right, would you rather just do away with it altogether?
No.
So even though they get it wrong, you're still good with keeping it?
I actually am more of a fan of, I would, it's kind of cat out of the bag, so you can't put it back. But I wish they never did it, because it doesn't seem to really get more things right. The one thing that it does do, and there have been some historically bad calls, there are in every sport, but calls that really did shift the game, that when in clear, no way in shape or form the guy should have been safe, they called him safe, or vice versa,
Right.
and so when you fix that, I guess it's okay. But then when it gets to where you're talking about bang plays that depending on, and the one that I always go to is close play sliding into a bag, to where, say someone goes in foot first, that heel hits the bag. Traditionally, that would be like safe, and as that slide continues, just for a moment, as the foot goes past, before the shin of the other leg hits the foot or the leg comes off the bag, just an inch, but that tag's there at that time, and then they go to replay, they overturn it and say that's an out. I get it. He came off the bag a little bit, but that's one of those things I think for 100 and whatever many years of baseball before there was replay, that guy was safe.
Yeah.
And no one even thought once about arguing about it being safe. And then suddenly it's like, oh, well, he kind of came off. Now, I'm totally fine with the clearly slide past the bag or by the bag and try to reach and your hand comes off. That's a different thing to me, but that's just one of my
I also
nitpicks.
think it's similar to the expectation of customers today when they go somewhere.
Oh, right. I don't think you can put the cat back in the bag.
Right, because used to, it was okay if you were a little late with your food, or if it was this or that. Well, now that this expectation that it needs to be right all the time, you don't need to mess up an order. It ought to be delivered on the time that you tell me, because Amazon, you've done it right for so long. The postal service, you were good for so long, but now you start doing that. And so the expectation of things being right should be right. And so when you go back to, well, the judgment call has been part of sports forever, it's true. Because the only judgment call right now that technically, based on this little rectangle box, that's not changed, that if you go by the rule of what a strike is, doesn't get changed. I think there ought to be in football, and I think there ought to be maybe even baseball, one or two judgment calls that you can challenge, that you go, look, will that delay the game some? But if I only know I get two of them, Because we've seen some, a lot of times where it's an obvious pass interference that doesn't get called, or an obvious terrible ball that is called a ball that is very much a strike, or normally you see the strike that is definitely a ball called a strike.
Well, and I guess in AAA right now they do the just robotic. I hope that never comes to the majors, because I feel like that will change the way the game goes more than it should. Because if you get technical about where the actual strike zone is, and that's set up by a computer, and if the ball crosses in that, it's a strike, you might get more accuracy. That would, I guess, be the outcome. But there's a lot of just traditionally ways that people have pitched and played the game, where you can throw this ball at this place, and it might not be a strike as it goes through the zone, but it gets called a strike. Or vice versa. I don't want to do away with that completely. The notion, and something that's been brought up, is possibly doing a ball or strike challenge, where you would have a couple of challenges during the game and you could do that. I'd be fine with that. Because as long as it was just here and there, like a limited amount.
But it's almost similar to officiating basketball. There are officials in our chapter that probably let play get a little physical at times that could be a foul, but they let it go. And then you have to adjust to that as a player and as a coach. As a pitcher, if they're giving you 2 inches outside on the outside corner,
you want
to adjust and you pitch to it. So that would be the replay stuff I would change. I wish, and there's really no way to do it without cutting some games off. I'd like to see the World Series not go to November, which was so deep, but that's okay. The other question I have for you would be, what do you, as a softball / what you see today with all the travel stuff, but also what would your rules change be?
So I was talking to Collins about this last night, and obviously she's 10, so you have to think this is her little brain. But she hates when she pops out. I mean, who doesn't? So she was like, I think if I make it to the base before they catch my ball, I should be safe. And I just died laughing. I was just cracking up. I mean, she's 10. But she was like, that is the rule I would change for all softball and baseball. If I can get,
I award you no points.
Yeah, if I can beat it out, I'm safe. I was like, that would be very entertaining, because people usually just give up.
I think the only way that you can make that rule is if the first baseman can try to block you, and because deep down you know it's going to be caught. But if it's hung up in there long enough, the first baseman gets to play like it's capture the flag and block you from the base. And if they catch it, yes. But if he drops it, he's got to get out of the way and give you the first shot.
I wish there was, in youth sports or specifically softball, what I see is just for their mental health, the pitchers, these little girls that are pitching, and just walk. I just wish there was, I don't know if it's like, okay, like automatically we're switching, because some of these coaches will just let these girls walk 10 girls in a row, and it just not good for their psyche, man. Like, it's just brutal.
I think if we get the rules for youth sports / roller, probably high school, the opposing team, if the other team has an annoying fan that's yelling stupid stuff, they can toss it.
Oh, see, I didn't know we were talking about fans. Oh, yeah, there's lots of things with the parents.
Because parents, or the kid of the parent who's being embarrassed because you as a dad or a mom do not know you're at a 10-year-old softball game and you're losing your mind.
Yeah, we just had that happen on our team last game.
Your kid has the right to throw you out.
Yes.
And the parent must put $1,000 at allowance for being lost.
I love that, actually. Because, yeah, one of our parents would have gotten tossed by their own kid.
Because there is a level of forgetting you're watching a youth sports game.
Yeah.
Or even a high school game. The kid, because here's the deal. One, I hope your kid gets embarrassed. If your kid doesn't get embarrassed and joins in being the moron, you have taught your kid how to be a moron.
Yeah.
Because there are times you can get excited. There are times that you get frustrated. There are times I'm probably going to call a game this year that people get frustrated. But how you handle that and how you teach that does matter.
No, it does. Absolutely.
You got thoughts, Josh?
Oh, I've got more thoughts than I want to share.
All right, tell you what, we'll go to commercial.
Hey, but y'all get out to Mulligan's this weekend because Della Rose is going to be playing this Saturday at 8 p.m. So be sure to call ahead, get your table 325-691-0909. That's Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill and Golf.
Della Rose kind of really making.
Della Rose is fantastic.
Started local, making a run, got
Yeah.
to play all the places.
They're
When we
so
come
good.
back, we'll dive into more Hodge Pack as we move into our Coleman County State Bank. Rolling through that 8 o'clock hour.
Actually would love to see that if one of the girls threw their parent out. Yeah, that would have happened at our last
Well,
game.
I was just thinking, you have to have some pretty strict,
What, you more on yells?
well,
I'm just talking about like berating your child when they're trying to pitch.
Or berating another child that's not
Yes,
yours.
exactly. And you get a pass because
no,
it's your
you have
kid.
to have, like the retaliation rules.
You
Because
get a
then
pass.
you get in trouble and you go, like, you can't call your parents up when you get home, your life's gonna be even more.
Well, see, that's true too. But do you get a pass because it's your kid?
Well, no.
So, like I've seen some pretty, where you're just like, oh my gosh, like your kid is literally bawling her eyes out on the mound. What are we accomplishing right here? It's honestly
Making sure they
ridiculous.
don't want to play anymore.
Honestly, yeah. But they're no longer on our team now, so it's fine.
They say coaches ruin kids, parents can ruin kids. Morning, Dad. All right, Josh.
Well, that's something I talk about a lot, because I've coached a lot of youth sports. Got a lot more of it ahead of me. My goal, and what I think everyone's goal, and it bothers me when this is not their goal, because up until you get to in high school, and not a moment before, every sport that you play should be about, like, and I know, and I'm not saying, son, honey, but, whether it's really win or lose, it's if you have fun. It's not what I'm saying. Losing is not fun.
But kids today have been brought up in a culture, the difference between winners and losers, probably more than there ever has been.
I don't know that I agree with that, but what I'm saying is putting the number one goal of playing youth sport should be it should be to have fun. And like I said, losing is not fun, so that's understandable that you want to win. But B, it should be getting better at the sport. Right. And that should be your two goals: have fun and get better. Because I see a lot of people
In youth sports, and that's the thing.
I see a lot of coaching, and I saw this especially in softball while I was playing, and I'm sure it gets better as they get older. I'm not sure at what age though. Where it's like you're coaching to win. You're coaching to win.
We can do Cowboys. That's fine. It doesn't
You're
matter.
coaching to win games, but the way you're getting your kids to play is not making them better at the sport. It's just taking advantage of the fact that, like, well, the shortstop can't throw, so we're just going to keep running.
Right.
That doesn't teach you to get better.
No, right.
If the kids don't even understand like what they're doing.
The games, yeah. Do I look like Where's Waldo in this sweater? I just
that's
looked at
exactly what
myself.
I thought when you walked in.
Really?
I wanted to give you a little cap.
And I just got to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was cute, and I
It
just
is
looked in the
cute.
mirror, and I was like, I think I look like Where's Waldo? You really?
Hey,
Damn.
folks, those that are tuning in, do you think in the comment section, does Misty look like Where's Waldo?
Dang it. Okay.
We
Okay.
can get you a
This
little
is an
toboggan.
outfit for the calendar.
We can now get you a toboggan with a little fussy food on
And the
top.
glasses.
Y'all, it literally just hit me in the bathroom. I was like looking in the mirror, and I was like,
The Waldo
oh my
thing
God.
or the burrito?
No. A Waldo. Oh my gosh. Dang
You
it.
think Waldo's still making some cash?
Oh yeah. I think so.
I haven't seen Waldo on the
I used
hot
to. Well, you have today apparently.
dog.
She's alive and well. She's now a girl.
Well, that's not surprising.
I know it's not in 2023. It's just funny you thought that. It just hit me.
I wasn't gonna make fun of you.
You should have.
No, 'cause I don't like to make people so fun.
We now have a question that was out of Misty's bag. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Live and everything in between. We're rolling in our 8 o'clock hour. Jeremy McBrayer is going to be our guest speaker, Lantrix Custom Homes, a little bit later on. Big 49er fan, we will not hold that against him.
I don't know that that's true.
Yeah,
Actually,
I will hold
Josh
it against
is
him.
pacing. He's out of scorpions and afraid of beer. But again, shout out to the JA brunch yesterday. Good job by Josh and Misty representing the Hodge Pack during that. Josh did good as the board chair, so good stuff there. But anyway, JA does a lot of good stuff. You've heard it here, advertising their golf tournament and all that. But I want to get back to Misty's. We enjoy squirrels, and we found one. Misty found a second question for her bag. One, what rule changes, and of course we pretty much made youth sports better just by the PSA. Could have been knowing it's half the battle. Maybe it will be, we don't know. But Misty wanted to know, and those that are watching on our Facebook Live and YouTube Live, feel free to go to Hodge Pack Sports, subscribe, follow us everywhere that you can. If she looks like where's Waldo? And Josh said,
Apparently I
Oh,
do.
yes, for sure. That was the first thought I had when I saw her sweater.
Dang it.
It's Waldo.
I
But I
literally
didn't say
didn't
anything
hit
because
it.
I didn't want to make her self-conscious, but I should have.
well, it doesn't matter. She figured it out in the rest.
I did just now. It hit me and I was like, a minute. I don't know if I should ever wear this sweater again.
Well, no,
I think you should.
No,
But
you
I
gotta-
literally
You
look like
have
where's
to own
Waldo?
it.
No, the only thing you need to do now is finish out the hat and glasses. And then Josh and I will get a bunch of other people, big picture, and we will hide
Oh
you
my
and
gosh.
see if we can
We'll go
find-
out with the mall walkers. See if
No.
y'all can find me.
Yeah, just get everybody together, randomly put Misty, where's Misty? Brought to you by Mulligan's, where's
What
your
about the
bag?
Waldo in the sea of Waldos?
And then find
That's a
the
hard
one.
one.
That is. To
Yeah.
find the right Waldo.
Yeah.
I'm
Gotta
not
find
gonna
one
wear
with
this
the
again.
Well, speaking of Waldos, it has nothing to do with, let's go to the Dacos.
Whoa,
Dak
too big of a
Prescott.
reach.
Big reach. I did that yesterday. Anyway, we're going to move on. The Dallas Cowboys Radio Network right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. The Dallas Cowboys last week came up short. Of course, I think it's going to be easy to pick when we get to picks, and Jeremy will be our guest picker. But the Dallas Cowboys last week go into Philadelphia and have a chance to win, have a chance to really start make a statement. You know, ironically, right now, two of the losses that we have, the 49ers and the Cardinals, the Cardinals loss looks really bad because, well, right now, that's the only win they have. Number two, the 49ers dismantled us, and now are on a bit of a skid. They're going to get Dabo Samuel back this week, looks like, so maybe they get back to their dominating self, because I think in the NFC, the reason I said on our Facebook page and our post that the Dallas Cowboys do not need to freak out, they do not need to worry too much, is because there's not that many good teams in the NFC. I mean, Josh, you've got Philadelphia, maybe Detroit, the 49ers, and the Cowboys. And I don't know if that's the order. We have a chance to go into Philadelphia, which is a tough place to win, on the 6-yard line, first and goal, you get the ball back, and that's where we probably should be a little nervous.
Well, I mean, for all the desire to take a moral victory away, I don't believe in moral victories. The fact that you were that close, you can say like, oh, it was that close, and it really did become like the matter of inches with the pass play to the tight end, and then Dak stepping out of bounds when going for two, those are the things that really changed the game. And then getting the ball back, the defense stepping up when they needed to, getting right back into scoring position, and then quite literally going backwards and then throwing a pass in the game that came up about a yard short. I look at those things and think that is too many little things that went wrong that added into a loss that you just really can't do that. I mean, I don't know if that's a coaching thing, just a mindset thing. I mean,
Well, penalties have been one of our big things, and we got crucial penalties on that last drive. The false
Right.
start backs you up. You can't take a sack. I don't know what Grant Cunningham was thinking. I love him to death, but still, it could have been a matador. Olay, he's right back there. Olay, he's right back there.
well, and I don't really know about all that. The dancing with that was weird too, but it was just very disheartening to be in a game to that level and play that well on the road and have things looking like they're really clicking, and then when it came crunch time, just to wilt flour on a 100-degree day, and that to me is probably more scary than just going in and getting beat by a couple touchdowns.
Like a 49er loss.
No, not the 49er loss, because that was just demoralizing. I think they're both demoralizing. The just getting throttled when you think you have a chance is very demoralizing. But being like so close that if just one of 6 plays goes a little bit different and you win the game, that is equally demoralizing.
Well, the Eagles were the best player on our team in the last couple minutes of the game. I mean, what was it, 35 yards in penalties, and we still can't capitalize on that? It's a Cowboys way. I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, you know this. It's been like this for years. That's what that game showed me. We cannot have sustained playoff success as a Dallas Cowboy.
Let me ask you this. The funny thing is those 3 losses that we have all have their own thing to it. You lose to the Cardinals, who, again, have won 1 game, don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They may play Kyler Murray. They trade Josh Dobbs off to Minnesota. Dobbs is over there on the side going through cadences, hasn't had a practice, literally bought a uniform off the shelf, put it on, and leads his team to a win. So that's your Cardinals lose. You go to San Francisco, like you mentioned, Josh, thought you had a chance, you get shellacked. And then you go play a team that most people thought you had a chance to win, but they thought because it's on the road, you probably wouldn't. You have every chance to have it. I wrote in our text and I wrote in our rundown, he had a hero moment, and Dak didn't come through. So all 3 of those losses have something unique to them, but as Josh, as you mentioned, still shows that they're still short. Now my question is this: has Dak peaked? I saw a text or a tweet that said the Bills and Josh Allen peaked with 13 seconds left to go in that game against the playoffs against the Chiefs and have gone down since. Has Dak peaked, or Dak and Josh, are they much different?
I don't really know. I mean, I will say I thought he stepped up. I thought he played well against the Eagles. But again, like Josh said, in crunch time, we have to have a quarterback, a coach. And the last throw of the game, I mean, it wasn't even in the end zone. I mean, I know what the route was supposed to be, but they were all over it. But like, why are we not going for the end zone there? Like, we're yards short. I'm like, what are we doing?
Why are we throwing the Tolbert?
Well, yeah, exactly.
My biggest thing is when you are at crunch time, why is your first look not to
CD?
the best option that you have?
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't even really think that it's necessarily fair to say that was Dak's fault.
Right.
I
well,
mean,
he's not exactly
the whole outcome of the game. I don't pin it on Dak. I pin it on the whole Schoonover, or however you say his last name, like the tight end cutting that route inside 6 inches short of the goal line. That's not on Dak. And the throw was there. There was pass interference that really should have been called because he was being tackled
If
both
you
ways.
throw that little red flag to college. That's a judgment call, but a judgment that you got wrong.
Absolutely.
Right, because he was being tackled as the ball was coming in, so there's that portion of that. But if that route is a foot deeper,
right,
it's a touchdown versus down at the 1 yard line. So that I don't put that on Dak. That making that read and making that throw was perfectly fine. But it just all of that adds together. Offensive line makes some crucial mistakes there at the end, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Dak did take that sack. That was really, it's truly just one of those times that you have to throw it away. Time being an issue, field position being an issue.
How much do you really put on and I guess it is, you got to know where you're at. If he goes into the end zone without stepping out of bounds on the 2-point conversion,
Well, yeah, then you
it's
can kick a field goal.
It's a field goal.
Right,
and you go
it's
overtime.
overtime.
And that changes your play calls and everything else because you're not as desperate.
Right.
And obviously, that Dak did do that, and that's and I mean things like that are just so.
But I guess
you're
it goes
not
back
there
to
doing
Misty's
it.
point as a fan. It's almost like and I go back to the parity, and we'll talk about that when we come back, and maybe that'll be part of the, I don't know what you got on this battle. But the thing is, the closeness of where the Cowboys are to being able to be good enough to get past that divisional round, to get maybe to an NFC Championship game, is right there in front of them. Now, the rest of the schedule, and we'll see, is going to get difficult. They need to run the table until the Eagles come to town. They need to run the table until December 10th. If they do that, then they should be fine.
Well,
Because
they
it
have
does
to
get
beat the
difficult.
Eagles too. I mean,
Yes,
honestly, I
exactly.
mean, it's not.
And that's exactly right. You got to win the
if you-
home game.
If they can't beat the Eagles at home,
We can't
And-
beat them
and
when
then-
the Eagles give us a chance to
Well,
with all those
and
penalties.
but
Absolutely
if they can't
ridiculous.
beat the Eagles at home, there's really like, okay, yeah, we'll make the playoffs, but we can't beat the 49ers, we can't beat the Eagles. What's the point?
They just choke.
like-
I mean, that's
Well,
just
I mean,
what they
the
do. They
Eagles-
choke.
Here's the Eagles' next set of games. They've got the Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, and then us. There's a chance that the Eagles could go 0-3 right there. There's a very good chance
We'd love to see it.
that the Eagles could go 0-3. We
This
should
is the
be.
only time I cheer for the 49ers.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm all over that game.
Yeah. And so I think that the gap can start coming back. Kind
Oh
of
no,
at-
I don't think winning the division is out of the question. I mean, it's not. It just they have to show up against the Eagles to make me think that there's a reason to really be excited
But
about
see,
going into
even
the
at 5
postseason.
and 3, what's crazy because of the NFC that's not really that great, very top heavy, and that top heavy is not amazing, is that the bye is still available.
Oh no, that's
There's
good.
a chance, absolutely, but they've got to get it together. I mean, we've got to be able in those intense pressure moments come through. And Dak, unfortunately, has not shown that he can do that.
Well, and like for this week, you have a 17-point spread. In an El Paso Abilene High game, El Paso Walla game, that's pretty easy to cover. And a 17-point spread in the NFL, that's a lot. And that's saying, Dallas, we think you're that good. We think you're that good. We think Dallas, or maybe more so, we think the Giants are that
The
bad.
Giants
Yes,
are
they're-
looking
So
for
you've got to
quarterback.
find a way
they're
to do
garbage.
that. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But again, the Cowboys, I don't believe in moral victories, but I do believe that you can learn from the loss.
Well,
And I
you
think-
can. And as a fan,
hopefully that we do.
as a fan, when you see those little things that all went kind of against you at the end, you think, okay, well, we had a chance to win that game.
Right.
So it's like, but it also makes me think that the team didn't know how to win, and
Right, in crunch time.
that was frustrating.
Could that be, and I'm going to jot it down, I'm going to put it out there, make the call, if you will. Sunday's Philly-Dallas game could be, will be the Ranger-Seattle last game of the year for the Cowboys. In that, you learn from it, you get better, and you take off and go from this one.
Well, you would hope so.
But at a level like
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, you hope, but I
Misty
don't
has
know.
given up.
I am,
Misty's given
man.
up. She has gone back to her Waldo look. When we come back, we're
She
going
threw
to
away her Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt to wear the Waldo
That's it.
sweatshirt.
I'm all in on the Bills now,
She
baby.
lost the love of the D's and the
Just
love of the
kidding.
Waldo. We'll be back right after this.
Oh.
The love of the
I
D's
am
and
so
the love of Waldo.
sad that I look like Waldo and didn't realize it.
You couldn't
Hi,
find
Jeremy.
Misty gets it. She's a realist. Misty, you just you couldn't find yourself. You didn't know where Waldo was. And Waldo was right
I'm
in
still, upset about the Cowboys loss. I'm like, F it all. Yeah. Or Christmas. Maybe I'm in the Christmas spirit.
Christmas Waldo was a
I-
little bit of grease.
But Waldo is only stripes, right? Not the squares. Oh, that's funny.
Jaguars have a really good rush defense, so that can, I mean, our run.
McCaffrey's obviously very good, so there's kind of those.
Josh, do you have the knowings at the battle, or you want to go to Perry?
We can talk about that, we don't have to. I'll make one of you to go.
I like the knowing is half.
Do you
the
mind
battle.
knowing how to battle?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, good. All right, I gotta get your.
And you actually played right into my hand this morning, and you don't even know it yet.
Oh.
Misty did?
No, you did.
I've already done that. It's your week, baby, not mine.
I'm sure you'll do something.
Okay, but for real, Waldo's just striped. So if I take the sleeves away, this is not Waldo.
I got a Bible spirit. I like it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll keep it.
Maybe you're supporting the blood.
Hey, Merry Christmas, y'all.
It's very cute,
Yeah.
but
Holiday.
there's this down that definitely
Put
is
yourself a
screaming
little
holiday.
fancy,
Yeah.
fancy Christmas hat on.
You wear Santa hat, you're good.
See, for our
A
calendar.
scarf.
Okay.
With some snowflakes.
I want to do this calendar. I'm not even kidding. We need to. We're gonna do a Hodge Pack, like awkward, like family photo calendar. I think that would be so funny. And one has to be denim, like the 90s, like head to
I'll have to
toe.
find a denim jacket.
Yes. I just think that would be so
I
funny.
picture
Hey,
that
we
in
need
Yeah, the Garfield shirts that used to look like they're like 4 shirts put together.
How like that?
Okay, this is for
I
Christmas.
had a conversation with a gentleman the other day that he was so, it was so funny the way he was dressed that I had a hard time like just talking with him without laughing. But he had a straw hat on that looked like something that like Richard Petty would wear. You know, just that kind of like folded up, dirty straw, hat. He had jeans, denim pearl snap shirt, and denim jacket that were all like a little bit on the faded side, but perfectly matched face. Like he wore them together and washed them so many times that they were like.
I cannot wait to do this. We need to
What's
do
up,
it
Dad?
kind of
Be
soon though,
best
because it's getting
Canadian
colder.
tuxedo I've ever seen.
And this is what we can do for like September. We can all dress in like crazy Dallas gear. I have like a huge Dallas cowboy hat.
You need to start writing down the months and your ideas so we don't forget them.
Okay. For football, and like it's huge. You know, hats that you buy like at the
Foam
game,
hat?
the foam hat. I have a huge Dallas cowboy one, and we could just be all like from head to toe, like homered out.
Yeah, they have it at Leadership Pathway, take your hat.
Yes, that was my hat. And that was my props.
I have to wear that.
Yep. I know it was tough for you. How was leadership yesterday? Did you have a good day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still.
You're gonna like Facebook stuff.
Oh my God. They're totally, are they hammering me on Facebook?
Not yet.
You just posted me? You. Oh,
You can't say it.
I can't. We're not on the air yet.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack.
I hate you.
Feel free to head over to the Hodge Pack Facebook page. We got a big question of the day. We need your help. It's going to be good stuff. Merry Christmas to everybody early for Misty today, November 10th. Speaking of November 10th, it is the Mall of Abilene Blood Drive today. Donate blood and save a life this Friday at the Mall of Abilene. That is today. The Hendrick Regional Blood Center bus will be at the Mall of Abilene this Friday, today, November 10th, from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. with the Ulta JCPenney entrance. Come out and donate blood and save a life with 106.9 the Country Giant. Now it is time for Knowing is Half the Battle.
All right. I'm glad we have, I don't know, somebody listening out there that might need to know something. Well, in fact, I know who needs to know something. I didn't realize how in need of knowing he was until I arrived this morning. But I had this thought that came to me yesterday. It was kind of rainy. We were going to that junior achievement brunch that was at the Hendrick campus on the north side, and the parking was just it was a difficult situation.
A lot of employees, a lot of people loving J8, so there's a lot of people there.
So the parking lot was very full, and as I was, cruising through trying to find a place to park, like I said, it's raining a little bit, so you want to be as close as possible. I don't mind a walk on a nice day, but it was not a nice day. And there were multiple cars that were parked all janky, like taking up 2 spots, just on the line on one side, where it was so close that you couldn't, and I drive an F-250, which I've been driving bigger trucks like that for a long time. So I've gotten used to trying to park them, but it's not like an easy ordeal. And so as I'm driving through the parking lot, I see a spot, like, okay, here's a spot, I'm going to pull into that one. As I start to pull in, the truck that was in the opposite side had backed in so far that their bumper tailgate area was where if I got close enough to them, I'd still be hanging out in the middle of the drive, the driveway, whatever. And so that made me think, like, what is the proper response to managing someone's poor parking lot etiquette? And I have to think that I don't really have a good answer for you, because all of them involve destruction of property. That was what comes to my mind. Maybe like hook up a chain to the car and just drag it out of the way.
Or put it over.
Yeah, just go ahead and park so close to it that they can't open their door. But then you risk them just door dinging the heck out of you whenever they come back. And this kind of led me to where I developed my theory on just avoiding making the parking lot mistakes altogether. You've got to go in the Wayback Machine to the time that I actually went to a movie at a movie theater, because this is where this happened. I pull into the parking lot, similar situation. They're parking fairly full. There's a long row of cars, 5, 6, 7 in a row, that are all kind of straddling the line where they should be over here, but they're moved 2 or 3 feet too far to the right. But it's like every car, just multiple cars all the way down. So I get to the end of that, and I do the same thing, kind of park straddling parking lot line. I'm not appropriately parked, but in relation to where everyone else is parked, I'm in the right place. Like that's just the way things were going. Unbeknownst to me, I go into the movie theater. All of the, I guess the movie let out that these other people were at, so their cars have all moved, and other cars are replacing them that are parked correctly. So now it appears that I'm the only one that's parked straddling 2 spots. And as I walk outside, I notice that my car looks very awkwardly, inappropriately parked, which it's kind
Let you down.
Yeah, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, and then I'm the one that did it. Well, as I get closer, I realize that one of my side view mirrors is broken off and hanging by the wires, I guess, that control the power mirror, just hanging there. And I was like, well, that's inappropriate, and very unfortunate. So
I bet that was your reaction.
Yes. I walked closer to the vehicle, and I noticed that there's a note under the windshield wiper. So I was like, all right, well, at least whoever broke my windshield or broke my mirror left a note, so maybe I can contact them for insurance information. So I get the note. It's folded twice, so it's in a little. So I unfold it and read it, and it says, "Learn to park, a-hole," but they did not. They went ahead and wrote it out.
So what do we need to know out of this besides you should have parked better?
Well, first of all, you need to park better, because someone's going to rip the bumper off of your truck out there parked in the middle of the driveway. And but as I got here this morning, as I turned to go down the road that you're on, I was like, Hodge is halfway out into this, and there's a curb on the other side. It's kind of hard to get around it. I know you got here and it was dark and you were the only one here, so you felt like you could just park wherever you wanted, but the middle of the driveway was probably not the appropriate place to park. So really, like I said, I don't know what the proper etiquette is. I wish I did because I mean,
I'll be honest with you, I did not see this, or see that or notice it.
well, I know you didn't. I know you didn't.
Are you talking about the parking lot right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe your area, maybe I've bumped up to your area then, because I am like right up on you in the parking lot.
Well, and the front of his truck is
But
in
my
the
car's
middle
little,
of
so his is bigger and then mine's
yeah,
little, and so
so
I just
I-
went on up.
the thing that I need to warn you.
Oh, I came up through. I know.
Yeah, and the wrong way on a one way. So I mean, you're all kinds of jacked up.
Yeah.
And so I guess Hodge really epitomizes the problem is people make these issues in the parking lot, and then other people have to make reactions to it that they may or may not, hurt
Well,
your vehicle.
Does he
hurt
get a
their
pass
vehicle.
because he's oblivious?
Well,
No,
no,
but here's the
that
thing.
makes it worse. If you're that oblivious, you just need to be slapped around.
So, but here's the
Come
thing.
here.
Easy, Waldo.
Hey.
But here's the thing. This is why this segment is important.
Right.
Because knowing is half the battle, and now you know.
Hodge knows now.
So next Friday,
Are you gonna do better?
I'm going to do better.
And me too. I
And-
will not be wearing red and white next week.
We want you. We got people saying they love it, but they do get the Waldo back.
And so I guess there's a two-part. The one part is if someone could let me know how to properly respond to someone messing with you by being improperly parked, let me know, because violence and destruction is usually what goes through my mind, and that's probably not real Christian of me. So but secondly, make sure that you're careful to not be that guy, because then if something happens to
Because
your car,
really-
it's on you.
Because really, your unfortunate mirror situation was a domino effect of the previously poor parked people that led
Right.
you to be that.
Right, but I shouldn't have been that guy, even in that situation. I should have rose above, parked correctly, and not had to pay to fix my own mirror.
Just start leaving notes on cars. So you talked about being a Christian. Just Jesus loves you. That's
Just
it.
that's it.
That's
got
it. Just Jesus loves you. No a-hole
No,
comment.
can't even throw in a bless
Just
your heart.
Jesus loves you.
Josh will be continuing to have tracks in his car.
Just a pile of papers. That's all
Yeah,
says.
just
Here you
notes.
go.
And if we get one, we know that we done messed up AA
You
wrong.
done
If
messed
he
up.
gave us the Jesus loves you.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. When we come back, we'll have more Hodge Pack, and I may go move my truck. We'll be back right after this.
I cannot believe he posted a who wore it better. You.
I think it's hilarious.
It is funny. Okay,
But
let's
you're winning. Be glad they're not saying
if
Waldo.
I wasn't, I'm quitting this.
No, you need to go buy something.
Hey,
Go
you can get business cards or stickers, they sell them, it says you park like an idiot.
Just stick it on the
Bright
Instead of
orange,
those,
bright orange, bright green, they look like a parking ticket.
instead
Let's
of
do
those,
it.
instead of those Joe Bidens where I did that, Josh, you can get those.
Yes.
You can get them, you can just fill
We're
it
gonna
out.
buy
stick it on
those.
the
Actually,
windshield.
let's do that. That would be great.
Actually, we're gonna buy those
It's like-
with all the money from our
Our calendar shoot.
It's like warning, you park like
Look
an
at-
idiot.
Who wears it better? Who wears this better? At least put it.
Yeah, see, there, here's
That would be neat. You put who wears
yeah.
his better.
Park like an idiot.
Can I? I can, because I didn't post it.
Here you go.
Yep, put it on there, under their, windshield wiper.
See, that's what you get for making fun of me. Who wears is better. Change it to
Well,
him.
change it.
I can, it won't let me. Yeah. In my face, I'm like, "Meh." Look how ridiculous. Look at my face. I'm like, It's hilarious. But obviously me.
Apparently, Zane says I need to flatten your tires.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my husband has actually done that. He's done that to some, well, I don't think they're watching, but he's done that before, and they're very cheap on Amazon. And then it's actually really, really funny.
I have. Probably shouldn't do it, but if you put a BB in the valve stem, sitting on 4 flat tires.
Oh,
So there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with them. You just gotta
Right,
pair them
yeah,
up.
that sucks. But yeah, no, the little penises or whatever, that's a really funny thing. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I actually will wear this again, even though it looks like Waldo. It's actually very cozy.
All right, so we got 8:48.
We need to do picks.
I know. Do we want to go straight to picks now?
Yes. Picks and done. Oh, they have neon little penises. That's cute. Oh my God, get the neon ones. But they will stick out.
Is that what
That's
y'all
the
wanna
only
do?
thing. Those little penises stick out because you need a black one.
Yeah, and you won't notice it.
Nope. Because then it looks like it's the little thing. That's
So the
what
next
Clay
time
got.
you're like,
Yeah, Clay got little black ones and put them on some of the mechanics that he works. And like they'll never notice until they go to change their tire. And we had a friend that moved and they changed all of his to little black penises. Okay,
So, all right, Jeremy, we'll go ahead and make this.
yeah,
the
let's
end.
do the picks. Because it's already 8:49.
yeah, we do not have time to do anything else.
So I'm gonna do this.
I've got to get a stand. This is just, yeah, I need a little
Why do
holder.
you not like when you change it? You and Misty can
Yeah,
kind of.
we can kind of,
You can become, she's Aaron Andrews.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
sad
the,
on him in the middle.
I'm the Wish version of Aaron. You be in the middle because of the camera.
Wish.
I'm the Wish version of Aaron Andrews.
Josh,
And so I'll just go like this, like when you're
What,
answering.
sir?
now, the good thing is we can talk more about some of these because we're gonna have more time. We'll talk Jeremy.
Okay,
Talk,
here we go.
You want me to
Introduce
talk about
Jeremy.
standings. Yeah, I can't get on the internet computer right now because Larry Marvel's getting that. So I'm gonna do that. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between. It's time where we do our picks and head into the weekend as we get ready for a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, the Anson Tigers losing last night, but a great season. Great job by Coach Corbin Combs turning that season from 2 wins last year to 5 in a playoff appearance this year. And then, of course, the Texas A&M Aggies tomorrow, and the Dallas Cowboys take on the New York Giants, which should be a game that we can take care of. Of course, that'll be one of our picks today as well. But joining us as our celebrity guest picker this morning from Ranger Coastal Home, Jeremy McBrayer. Jeremy, former co-host on the road. Don't forget that.
Yep, glad to be here.
And so Jeremy's here. Of course, he's sporting his San Francisco jersey or hoodie.
Boo.
Yeah, maybe we'll part of the calendar. Anyway, so Jeremy, real quick, let's take a moment. Housing, it's kind of one of those deals. Misty talked about it yesterday at the JA thing. Kind of where we are, housing. Still, what's your thoughts as a guy that's big in HBA, but also just in the home building business? Just a bit of an elevator speech of housing and admin.
It's actually picked up a little bit. Our company has sold some inventory that we've had sitting. I think that it's going to go back to the way it was pre-COVID, where you have your good sellers and low selling months, and then we're going to get into the holidays here. I think that's going to slow it down. But interest rates did come down, so I think if you see that trend happening, especially with the election coming up, I think that'll keep going down. And then it seems like it's being okay right now. So it has slowed down from what it was a couple years past, but I also think that was an anomaly and that will never happen again.
Now I want to throw this at you because we've asked this. We've got buddy CJ Morrow's a Buffalo Bills fan. What made you, or how did you become a San Francisco 49er fan, living in Texas?
So grew up in Big Spring. My dad didn't really care about football. I think we had it on maybe, right? He's from Kentucky. They don't really have a team up there. Honestly, the kid across the street was a Niners fan for whatever reason, and we were best friends, so I liked him because he did. And then obviously in the 80s, you had Montana, Rice, and then they were good. And so I just stuck with them.
And they were fun to watch. I mean, they
Yeah.
were
Mhm.
one of the teams, and then you put them in with the Cowboys.
Yep.
Back then, it was Yankees, Red Sox for the NFL
Oh, yeah, the
Ladies,
49ers and the Packers are the two non-division
Oh, yeah.
teams that I've disliked the
Hate,
most.
yeah.
So,
I agree with the Packers.
Well, so Josh, do you have our
oh, yeah,
standings of
I'll
how
give a
listeners
little
are doing?
update. Just real quickly, Molly has had a pretty good run. She obviously won, and no offense, Allison, obviously you picked some whoppers. Won last week, so she continues to dominate in the Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? She's also now tied with me for the lead overall on the season. Our number one listener is Pops, my dad, who is one behind Molly and I. So he's the one that really got me into this whole like liking to watch football thing. So I'm glad I'm beating him, but he's still holding his own. And then we have Matt Casey coming in second, 3 picks behind Pops. Hodge and Misty tanked last week. I don't know if it was just to make Hodge feel good. She was beating Hodge all year going into the last week. Hodge beat her by 4 picks to take a 1-pick lead on the season.
I know.
So we're coming into the home stretch of college football, coming to an end soon.
We got lucky last week.
No,
High
Josh,
school-
yes or no, on our pick'ems outside of our group, am I not doing better?
Better, but better than how you were is
Yeah, last year I think I beat you by like 30.
Well,
I've been picking a lot lately with my heart, so I'm having a heart problem.
no, that
Okay.
is the problem.
It is a problem.
That is a
I am
problem.
emotional. I'm a female. What do y'all expect?
Oh, now that's gonna be the excuse?
Yes.
Okay, well.
Gotta-
it-
I gotta
Yeah,
throw
that's a
something
funny
out.
excuse, because if I said, "Oh, you picked that because you're a girl," then I would be like,
You would be
in
bad.
trouble.
I would be like,
Well,
no, you're
Well,
actually
ironically,
right.
Talon Cobb is still the second with
Yeah,
Fox.
yeah.
The only two that have been smarter than a fifth grader. So we're gonna see.
I think the
Jeremy-
weeks are getting harder. Just saying.
Oh,
As
okay.
as we've
Well, that
gotten
doesn't help your
in.
cause then.
Just saying,
Does that help your
it's
cause?
getting
or hurt
harder. I'm gonna use my brain.
you? All right,
Not
here we
my
go.
heart.
That's it. There we go. I'm gonna leave that.
Uh-huh,
All right,
good idea.
Not the. No.
Oh,
All right, here we go. Michigan, Penn State. A lot of talk about Harvard. Will Jim Harbaugh be suspended? It's taken Spygate. It's taken Deflategate all to another level. Literally, they've been playing Where's Waldo? Is Connor Stallion at a football game? Is he not? So we don't have no idea, but they're going to be at Penn State. Tough place to play. I've got Michigan winning this one. Misty, who do you got?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Josh?
well, Molly's got Michigan, but I've got Penn State. I think the distraction that is Michigan right now, and being on the road at a tough opponent, I'm going with Penn State.
And I do think it's one that now could create some chaos for the national championship. Tech at Kansas. Kansas ruined my prayer by beating Oklahoma a couple weeks ago, and then Oklahoma State finished that off as well. But I've got Kansas. I think Coach Leopold may be one of those guys. You better hope you keep him there, Kansas, because he may be valued other places because there's only such a level that you can recruit when it comes to Kansas. But he's found a way to not make it just a basketball school. I hate to pick against Coach McGuire, but Tech hadn't figured it out this year. I've got the Jayhawks.
I do too. I'm going against the heart here, so I hope I'm right.
Texas Tech has just not been good this year. I have to go Kansas.
Yeah, that's 100% on Kansas this week.
Man, that says a lot. That's tough. Sorry, Grant. Sorry, Evan.
Yeah,
all
I'm like,
those
ugh.
Tech folks. It was tough. Baylor K-State, another one that's Coach Watch. Is the seat warmers getting warm in Waco? We don't know. But I've got Kansas State. Sorry, Zane. Appreciate you listening. But I've got the Wildcats. I think it's going to be tough to win in Manhattan.
I've got K-State.
Going with the favorite, K-State.
Yeah, I went with K-State. Molly went with Baylor, but then put a question mark next to it. So
Yeah, she was reading the teleprompter like Ron Burgundy. Baylor?
Yeah.
ACU Tarleton, big old school rivalry, now D1 rivalry. ACU coming to Anthony Stadium. Is it Anthony Field? I don't know. But they're coming to the Anthony Wildcat Stadium. I've got ACU. I think Coach Patterson playing well. I think they'll win that home game. I've got ACU winning.
I've got ACU as well.
I think this is a coin flip, but I'm going with the local kids, ACU.
I went with Tarleton. I do think it has a chance to be a really good football game, but just
Well, it gives you a chance to get stay above Pops. I don't know what
Well,
Pops
yeah.
did, but we'll see there. Who did Molly pick? Molly picked ACU.
yes.
All right, let's head out to the SEC. Mizzou and Tennessee. Mizzou played Georgia tough last week. They're going to be at home. I wanted to go Tennessee, but I just feel like Tennessee may be going backwards a little bit. I've got Mizzou feeling some confidence off the Georgia win. I've got Mizzou winning that game over Tennessee.
I'm going to go opposite you just because I'm going Tennessee.
I picked Missouri. I don't think Tennessee hadn't been good for a long time. I mean, they're good this year, but I think with the way Missouri played Georgia last week, they're going to have something to prove this week.
Molly and I both went with Tennessee, but the reason I put it on here is because I think it's a game that's hard to call and should be entertaining.
Next, we've got Ole Miss and Georgia. This is where my upset of the week is going to happen. Now that I don't care about the Power 5 teams being undefeated, I think Lane Kiffin does a really good job. I think Georgia is as gettable as they've been in the last 3 years. So I'm going to go Ole Miss over Georgia on the road. It's probably a dumb pick. In the words of Lee Corso, would probably say not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast. No chance is Georgia.
Georgia.
So I have a chance to get past Misty a little bit more. Looks like Quentin Ewers has a chance to come back and play UT at TCU. Sonny Dykes, year ago, being in the national championship game, not the same TCU team. I think Texas is a much better team. Texas still trying to find a way to maybe even get back into the playoff hunt if some of these losses happen, like I mentioned with Georgia and all those, Alabama, all them that want to get back in. I think, does anybody have TCU?
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, UT all the way around. Mississippi State, A&M, you can listen to it right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. I've got the Aggies winning this one.
Yes, I want to see the Aggies win this one.
I have a hard time with the Aggies. I don't trust them. They win games they're not supposed to win. They lose games they're supposed to win. 17-point spread. I'm going Mississippi State.
That's probably
Ooh.
smart.
Sounds like the
Josh, what do
Cowboys.
you got?
Molly and I both picked A&M, but I'm with you. The inconsistency of A&M is the only thing that's consistent about the football program.
So did you go with?
I went with A&M, but I see what Jeremy's dealing with there.
All right, we got the last two NFL games. Only 2 NFL games this week. There are some other decent NFL games that are happening. I mentioned the Texans and the Bengals ought to be entertaining this week. But 49ers, Jags, this is one that some are calling maybe a Super Bowl preview, possibly, that the 49ers can turn it around. The Jacksonville Jaguars take big odds. Jeremy, what's your thought as the lone 49er fan in this room?
Coming off the bye. Of course, both teams are coming off the bye. I think this is a proven game for the 49ers. I honestly think it could go either way, being in Jacksonville, but I got to go with my Niners.
I'm going Jags. I cannot pick the Niners.
Well, and I'm not picking the Niners, not just because
they're
I
not-
can't pick them. It's a long airplane ride.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
saying
they're not at home.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying they can't handle it. They're grown men. They're professionals. But I do think Jacksonville's playing well. And I'm going to tell you a guy that's playing good, and because he's not a quarterback, Travis Etienne is probably having his best year this year. And I think that he's going to be the reason they end up winning this game. And so I've got the Jags.
Molly picked the 49ers. This game for me was the hardest game to pick out of all of them because the 49ers have played just not their game for 3 weeks in a row. They're going to Jacksonville, like we talked about, long plane ride. Jacksonville has one of the better rush defenses in the NFL. All those things made me lean towards Jacksonville, but then I still just think the 49ers are a good team. And I think that it's now or never for them. So it's kind of, not that it's a must win in the middle of the season, but their back's kind of against the wall to prove that they need to be in that talk, to be in
And
the top.
they're still trying to separate themselves just from the Seahawks.
Right.
Let alone
The Seahawks took a nosedive. So that's because you picked them. But
And they put the Ravens.
So all of that to say, I went with 49ers, but if I am wrong on this one, I will not be surprised at all.
Same.
All right, Cowboys, Giants. We expect the Giants to not win. We expect the Cowboys to win. Does anybody have the Giants? Jeremy, do you pick the Giants? All right.
Cowboys are that team where after they lose to Philly, they're going to come out hot. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's 40-0 like it was the first week.
Yeah, I think Cooper Rush ought to be playing a lot at the end of this.
He should be playing in the second half.
Yes, I agree. Hey, Jeremy, appreciate you being our guest this week. Again, thanks to Matt Hicks. Don't forget to download, subscribe, rate, review. Listen to the Hodge Pack on podcast. You got JB coming up. You've got Greg Austin this afternoon. Great football all weekend with the Aggies and the Cowboys. Don't forget the blood drive today. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back next week, and the Cowboys will be 6-3. Isn't that right? 6-3.
Yeah, that's about, yeah.
Devin, the Niners are 5-3.